Welcome back. You are watching CNBC-TV18. Voters have rejected military rule as opposition parties emerge victorious in what has been termed as Thailand's most pivotal election in decades. The Move Forward party, led by 42-year-old Peter Limjaroenrat, has emerged on top and is looking to form an alliance with other progressive parties and like-minded parties. But the road to power for the reformist parties may not be easy. Take a look.
Thailand's progressive and reformist opposition parties have won the most number of seats in the general elections, striking a body blow to pro-military parties which have ruled the South Asian state for close to a decade. The youth-led Move Forward party, marking its election debut, is set to win a total of 151 seats in the 500-member House of Representatives. Remember, 100 out of these seats are allocated to parties on a proportional basis. The party has promised to scrap the draconian royal insult law and usher in a new kind of politics that would end the stranglehold of the monarchy and the military over Thailand.
What we had promised that it will be without the military-backed parties, and it will be an MOU based like the Western democracy, where it's transparent, where it's concise, where it's expectation management of what can be done and what cannot be done.
The Pheu Thai party, helmed by the Shinawatra family, has won 141 seats. The pro-military United Thai Nation party of Prime Minister Prayut fared poorly, lagging at 5th position. The election results would be formally ratified after 2 months. But here's a caveat. The 250-member Senate, who are appointed entirely by military officials, votes for the Prime Minister along with the House of Representatives. A candidate should get at least 376 votes to sail through. In the last election in 2019, the Senate had voted unanimously for Prayut, despite his party winning a lot fewer seats than the Pheu Thai. He was later able to cobble together a coalition of 19 different parties. The leader of the Move Forward party has said that he has invited the Pheu Thai and 4 other opposition parties to form an alliance. So, while the road to power for the reformists may not be easy due to the complex parliamentary practices of Thailand, they have a lot to celebrate right now. Bureau Report, CNBC TV18.
All right, to take this forward, we are now joined by Anil Wadhwa, former Indian ambassador to Thailand. Ambassador Wadhwa, thank you very much for joining us. As a close watcher of Thailand politics and Thailand government over the years, how do you see this election result, especially the kind of numbers that the Move Forward party has got?
Well, Parikshit, I think the result was expected. I think there was a tremendous amount of disenchantment with the military-led parties, so to speak. The 2 main military-led parties were not favored any longer by the voters, who have lots of other problems which have arisen mainly after COVID. It's day-to-day living problems. The expenses have gone up and unemployment has gone up in Thailand. Tourism not do well for a while. And all these problems have compounded and have come together. So I think it was quite expected that this time there will be a change. But what was unexpected in this election was that the Move Forward party actually outdid the Pheu Thai party, which has come second, a close second. But between them, I think they have clearly swept the polls.
Right. The next question. Peter is a Harvard University graduate. He's definitely resonated with the voters on the ground. But do you think he has the political mettle to stitch a coalition on the ground? Do you think this verdict will stand in courts? Do you think the military-backed parties may be still successful to come back to power in some way?
So Thailand has had a history of military and the conservatives always using the institutions, the constitutional institutions, especially the judiciary and similar institutions which are dominated by their nominees to disqualify the opposition parties. And that is the main fear here, Parikshit, because I think, while these two parties will be able to cobble together a coalition. And I already told that there are now 4 other parties which are going to be with them. So that's a number of 309, which is quite good. But at the same time, going forward, I think while a military coup is unlikely in the given circumstances, but of course, we cannot rule out another court ruling to disqualify a move forward on a technicality. And this has happened with its predecessor, the Future Forward, in 2020. The other question is whether Move Forward and Pheu Thai Party can work together, because they were unlikely to come together before the elections. But I think they've both seen what has happened in the past. And at the moment, they are firmly together. They've declared support for each other.
Throw some light on the kind of reforms that Peter has promised to the people of Thailand. Why is it important for the country, for the voters at this point in time in Thailand's history?
So it's very important because the main plank on which this party has won is to bring about a reform of the monarchy, and mainly, the misuse of the lèse majesté law, under which a number of people have been languishing in Thai jails for many, many years. The students don't like this at all. The young population does not like this at all. They feel it's an outdated law which must be done away with. And obviously, the monarchy, with the help of the military and the conservative parties, will try to thwart this as much as possible. So already, I think the battle lines are quite well drawn on this particular reform that they want to bring about. On the other aspects, which are to do with day-to-day life and inflation and price rises, etc., those are something that they can get along with, with the others. But at the same time, I think it'll be difficult to get laws passed when the Senate is heavily dominated by military-nominated nominees. And these are people who are 250 in number in the Senate. And the military has ensured that is their nominees who will continue in this Senate as well. So going forward, I think bringing about very drastic reforms will still get very difficult.
All right. My final question, give us a sense of what the Indian government would be looking for as far as this election goes. What is the focus of our ties going to be with the new government in Thailand?
So, Parikshit, Thailand has had a history of military coups since 1993. A number of governments have come and gone, and we have always maintained good bilateral relationship with any kind of government in Thailand which exists. Essentially, the business side of working in Thailand and people's daily lives don't get affected so much by these political changes. I think the Thais are very pragmatic people that way, and they know which way their bread is buttered. Second point is about the cooperation that India has received from Thailand over the past 2 or 3 decades in terms of counter-terrorism efforts and making sure that fugitives from law are repatriated back to India. And that cooperation is doing very well. I'm sure the Indian and the Thai governments, whichever Thai government is in place, will continue to make sure that that cooperation is kept up. Trade is doing pretty well, and so are investments. In fact, last year was the best year for trade relationship between India and Thailand. And I think Indian government would certainly like to keep that up and do much more in this regard.
All right, Ambassador Wadhwa, thank you very much. We appreciate the fact that you joined us to explain our viewers the significance of the Move Forward Party gaining the highest number of votes, highest number of seats in this election. But let's see whether they can actually form the government, form a coalition government or not. Moving on, the other big election we have been talking. Turkey's presidential election may be headed for a runoff. Neither President Recep Tayyip Erdogan nor his main challenger Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu appear likely to meet the 50% threshold to win the election. If no one crosses that mark, a second round of election is expected to be held on the 28th of May. Addressing his supporters, Erdogan said he could still win, but is ready for a runoff. For Erdogan, a loss in this election could mean an end to his 20-year reign. With that, it's a wrap on this edition of News Centre. More news and updates when we return.